How crazy is it to think that him, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow were all on the same college team?
Well, that's why they won the national championship. I think they went undefeated as well. It was one of the best college football teams in the history of college football. And that's when I learned about Joe Burrow as well, when I watched that college football national championship. And that team was just ridiculous. I mean, it's like they're wide receiver you.
Yeah.
Like,
They are Odell. You got Brian Thomas.
Ohio State's up there as well.
Ohio State is right there.
I still think that LSU is number one. It's just incredible, just the guys that they're producing out of LSU. I don't know what they're feeding them, or I don't know what's, causing them to be so explosive as well. I want that type of training, even though I'm not even playing anymore. I just want to be explosive in life, whatever I do, like these guys. I mean, I would just be the bomb then if I was like them. But Justin Jefferson, man, like we're saying, the explosiveness, his bursts off the snap is what gets him open majority of the time. If you can... It's about getting open. You get open in the first 3 yards of your route on majority of the routes out there, and that's Justin Jefferson for you. And just his fluid movements as well, just how fluid he is, just how he can break down at any given time and run any route on the route tree. Yeah. And the only way you can do that because you're so bendable and so loose and so fluid. So he's reliable anywhere out on the field at the slot position, at wide receiver number 3. You can't line him up in near the line. He's just too skinny for that. He'll get tossed around if he has to block a linebacker. Because there are wide receivers that block linebackers. He can't be doing that.
I think he's done it.
He's probably done it, but he can't be doing that.
He reminds me a lot when I saw him run a curl route once, and he got so in and out of that break with his frame. It reminded me of Chad Ochocinco.
But more fluid.
Yeah, but it was, still, Chad was like one of the best cutters that we've seen in this game, and he's got that. It's been pretty, like, the guys on his team, Stephen Gilmore, who's been around a lot of great football, he goes out and says how hard he goes in practice is rare. I mean, most guys, they think they could just turn it on in the game. He actually puts the work in, and I love hearing that stuff.
And when you hear about all the greatest receivers of all time, there's always someone out there on the defense side of the ball that has a quote very similar to that. And it's kind of the same in your case, Julian. You're one of the best slot receivers to ever play the game, hands down. And your work ethic was phenomenal. You would go out there and you would practice full speed every single practice, and that would translate to the game. And you're just like Justin Jefferson, the slot position now. I've been ragging on you a couple of times. But what makes Justin Jefferson great as well is that when the ball is up in the air, he can make air adjustments. Yeah. Let's call it air adjustments, where no matter it is, he can be up in the air and he can adjust his hands, adjust his body, adjust where the ball is,
body control,
adjust where his feet are going, just so he can get under the ball. That body control that he has is through the roof, and that's what really, truly makes you the best receiver in the game, because no matter how good you are, there's always going to be a defensive back still covering you and still on you. It's about how you can just have that little advantage to get open, and the way that he can control his body is what gives him that advantage, and the way that he can adjust to a ball.
Yeah, I mean, who's top 3 receivers right now?
In the NFL, well, Justin Jefferson's one of them. We're not going to go any order. Jamar Chase.
I think he's a monster.
Which is crazy. They played together at LSU. Joe Burrow, one lucky quarterback.
You know who Jamar Chase reminds me of? He reminds me of Steve Smith was 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
Like when you watch their highlight, because Steve Smith was like a very violent run. Like he's explosive, violent. He's just bigger.
Yeah. But like Jamar Chase even has like another gear, another speed than Steve Smith. And Steve Smith
used to, I mean, you watch his highlights, man. He looks like he was a monster.
He was. But
I know Jamar Chase is a monster too. I'm not trying
I think that's how big of a monster Jamar Chase is. I think he has one more gear than Steve Smith.
Yeah.
I think Steve Smith
has 3.
I think Steve Smith is tougher.
I don't know.
Steve Smith, tough SOB.
And he could talk shit.
And talk garbage.
He could talk
But Jamar Chase had has an extra gear in like the speed department.
He never get caught.
Mm-mm.
Who else? We got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Oh, yeah. Who's the third?
The third.
Ooh. I mean, it's a clear number 1 and 2 with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. And then number 3, I might have to get it.
A.J. Brown, if he had a quarterback that was.
Yeah, but, everything factors. What about C.D. Lamb, though?
C.D. Lamb
has been performing. He was paid this offseason. He sure performed.
CD.
He was He was, really reliable throughout the whole year.
Got hurt a little bit, didn't he? He didn't play. He didn't finish the year.
Well, you know something? We're not going to do top 3, Jules. We're just going to do 1 and 2 because these guys are just such a level ahead of everyone else after them. So Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, number 1 and 2 wide receivers in the NFL right now.